Good morning. How are you? Well, good day wherever you are. Good morning for my Australians at 02. Well, what time is it? 0221. Early morning, but we're getting there. I hope you're having a great day. Just let me post this and then I will be with all of you guys. Let's hope that our internet sticks around for the day. G'day, mate. Can you just let me know if you can hear me? No problems at all. Hey, guys. Right. Good. Right. Post it up in the Telegram so people will be jumping across. Now, do you believe that the White House is going to be the best place to watch this? I was thinking that it would be, but I don't see them scheduling. Here we go. Eating my own words. Sure, we'll begin very shortly, right? So we should be able to hear this. There shouldn't be any problems with audio my end. Audio is good. Let me double check one of these videos just to make sure the audio is working and you guys can hear it. How's that? Can you hear that?
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country, China. And
just let me know if you guys can hear that. Okay.
It was an outstanding group of decisions. I think.
Okay, how's that?
A lot of decisions were made. There wasn't too much left out there, and we've come to conclusion on many very important points.
Better,
we'll
low.
be handing that to you in a little while. We're having because there was a lot of different things. Many of them very important. We're
Is that any better now?
On so many elements, large amounts, tremendous amounts of the soybeans and other farm products are going to be purchased immediately, starting immediately. If you notice, President Xi authorized yesterday for China to start, did you know that? Right? China to start buying in very large quantities of soybeans and other things, which I appreciated. That was a very nice gesture. And many other things like that. We, on fentanyl, we agreed that he was going to work very hard
this is just testimony, by the way.
It's a very complex subject because it's used for lots of different reasons.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, accompanied by His Eminence Archbishop Albie IV of America.
That should be pretty good for you, I think.
Guidance. With this cross, I pray you bring peace to the world and make America invincible.
There we go. Well, I will say, oh my God, has Twitter, Telegram, whatever, been an absolute mess following this. The amount of hypocrisy that I'm seeing, it's unbelievable. It's like international law. Never heard of it. Or like, no, you must uphold international law, but not us. And the amount of irony too. From everyone, from both sides of the aisle, is unbelievable. Harry Peter Cook, thank you for the first donation of the night on the PayPal. Thank you, mate. Right, how are we all? It has been a wild day. I've only just woken up again. I'm, as you can see, I'm very, very tired. I only had about an hour of sleep. Have I missed anything dramatic in the past, say, 2 hours? Is there anything big that's popped up? I don't believe that I have missed anything huge. Remember, guys, if you're in the chat, remember to hit like as well. So remember, if you're watching this, to try and bump ourselves up the list a little bit, hit like, post in the chat. I don't know, whatever. Go from there, boost ourselves up the algorithm just a little bit so we can make it worth being up at 2 in the morning. If you'd like to support, the PayPal link is the pinned comment. Otherwise, there's the super chat. Otherwise, it's lovely to have you guys here along with me on a very, very late or early Sunday morning. Let's see what President Trump of the US says about this appearing to be a snatch and grab of the leader of Venezuela. Let me know what you guys think of this. I know a lot of people in two minds. A lot of people, I think the position I'm seeing many take is they're like, I'm not saying Maduro's a good guy or that he shouldn't have been replaced or had better election, but you can't just go in and grab, kidnap, and then have a trial for someone for your law outside. And what precedence is this set? And that's what I'm seeing a lot of people concerned by. A lot of people is like, well, how does someone like China see this? Because if you are having this might is right political style, that no, it's not a rules-based order of which we preach for, it's just might. How does someone like China or Putin or even Modi, how do they see this? They go across and go, well, we'll just take it by force then. And I know a lot of people, when they talk about China, they talk about China and in relation to Taiwan. But it's not just Taiwan. There's plenty of other places where China may look as well. But yes, it is power politics. It is realism power politics. And that's never gone away. But yeah, people like to act as if it had gone away. Peak irony if he goes to the ICC and not BB. Yeah, well, that's going to be the thing, is you're probably going to see the International Criminal Courts something potentially with him and not Netanyahu or not Putin, not Bush. But yeah, I don't know, I think this has been, it's shown true colours of power politics. I'm not saying, therefore, that's not the way things work. There's a degree of like these great powers, they don't care about international law. But it's also when they're preaching this too. It's funny to see like the Europeans, like your Kaja Kallas, Ursula von der Leyen's, how they are tweeting about this. And it's like they're not actually just going down what they think, and they're not saying just the only European I saw tweet like, and you could tell he said what he really thought, was actually Nigel Farage. I'm saying I agree with Nigel Farage's position, but he was like, this is what has happened. And these other, Kaja Kallas just pussyfooted around the idea here of international laws and sovereignty, independence without, and for a fact that's what she's thinking. And it's funny because you'll see her other tweets about Russia, about China, and then about this. You can just see that changing in language unbelievably. And I know people throw narco state. If you're still on the thinking that this is all about fentanyl, broaden your horizons, please. Trump himself has gone on about the oil here. It's significantly more than if it was about fentanyl, Venezuela would not have been the first state you would have bombed. It would have been Mexico, Colombia, China. There's other things. I'm not saying none of it goes through Venezuela, but if you don't think that this is like priority oil number one, come on. It's time to grow up and smell the rose and see the reality. You don't have the largest amount of available oil that supplies, I believe, about 4 to 7% of of China's energy needs. It's just controlling the region too. That's one of the funniest things I've been seeing, is I'm seeing a heap of people defend the US by saying great state powers should be able to have a say in their neighbours' security, like apparatus. And I'm like, are you not just copy and pasting the Russian language that they're using against NATO onto this? That's been funny. I love seeing when people don't see the irony in what they're saying, but also the irony then when these Russian supporters are like, well, you know, the international law of crossing a border has been breached, blah, blah, blah. Well, hang on, guys. It's funny. Someone says Monroe Doctrine, that's all. That's all out the wazoo. Mr. Vendetti says, yay, I caught you live. Lovely to have you here, mate. How are you? Right, so Trump is, I believe, now 2 minutes late. Time, let me do this because it annoys everyone. Google, what's the time in Florida? It's now 11:02, so any minute now. Dyslexic GN says, Trump did this on the day I'm flying out of Miami. Guy's timing. Well, I hope you're having a lovely day in Miami. I've been to Florida, but I've never been to Miami. Been to Tampa and Sarasota. Thank you as well to, I can't see who. Thank you for whoever bought me 3 beers on my Buy Me a Coffee. I can't see the name. Thank you very much. I appreciate that too. Come on, Trump. What we need to do is we need you to go live, mate, so I can go back to bed because I didn't sleep last night. I've only slept like an hour tonight. What time is it in Australia? It is 0233. So early morning. It would have been entertaining plane trip. Absolutely. It would have been funny. Like, you're on the plane, you're one of the Delta Force dudes on the plane with Maduro. Do you, like, strike up a conversation? I don't know. Daniel says, looks like banana wars are back on the menu, boys. Well, this is a good point, Daniel. Like, could we be entering a age again of expansion imperialism? You know, it's never gone away. It's just morphed into a more cunning type of imperialism through politics and sanctions and economic weaponization. Could we see more of an expansion through power? Just for it all. Thank you for becoming a level 1 mini Willy. Appreciate that, mate. Thoughts on China gold situation, geopolitics today? Thank you, mate. As far as themselves setting up a bit of like a Silk Road for gold and trying to peg back to gold, I think it's a really good idea. I think if they can, and I'm not fully over the gold situation. I know a tiny little bit of where China's trying to be able to issue cash pegged by gold. I think it's a good idea. People are losing more and more faith in fiat currencies. We're seeing people try and do things like have with limited assets. So whether that be gold, silver, or like a Bitcoin crypto asset potentially, I think it'd be a good. I think it'd be a good move. Australia has lots of gold. Might be great for you guys. We have a heap of gold. Chef O'Death, thank you for becoming a mini Willy member. Appreciate that, mate. He's really wearing his PJs. No, it's just like a shirt, but it is very pajama-y. Sorry if I am slurring a little bit. I'm not drunk. I am just unfathomably tired at the moment. Right, come on, Mr. Trump. We are ready for you. There's no chat on this, is there? Nah, comments are turned off. That's all right. Let's listen to what the Big Don has to say. We have Maduro. We have the big, beautiful Maduro. I hope you're doing better. Much love from Wisconsin. Thank you, Lappy BM9KM. Thank you. Appreciate that. I hope you're doing well in Wisconsin. Remember, yes, like the stream, guys. Remember, if you're in here, one of the 1,300 legends that we do have, just hit like. That helps us a lot. How long till he gets started? He was meant to be on a couple of minutes ago. Guys, we have 1,400 viewers and 200 likes. Remember, that's the best way, is just to hit like right in the chat, push us up the algorithm a little bit. Mauser85 6546 became a member for 15 months. Thank you very much. At least it wasn't the Navy SEALs. I've seen all these signal chats I'm part of have been going on saying we know it wasn't the SEALs because they would have been filming a podcast on the way home. Trump's always late, but his speech is going to be fire. Yeah, it could be. All I could think of about the speech was when I just think about Shane Gillis doing the al-Baghdadi speech. It absolutely could be. He's usually 30 to 60 late. It's not what we don't need that. I'm dying to hear what he has to say about this. Because he has said that he has, details to release. So we'll see. Also, people are comparing this grab to Russia's initial invasion of Ukraine. I'm not saying that went smoothly whatsoever. There was major failures in it, but this is a significantly different mission, especially significantly different amounts of air defense support and even warning to go into. Absolutely. I know there's memes and it's funny to poke fun and this and that, but to actually try and draw comparisons to it, very vastly different. Because I'm seeing now people go, well, why can't we just go into Russia and steal Putin? And I'm like, yeah, that's not. You're not going to have the same success here, guys. You're not just going to. Trust me, if the US could do it, they probably would. But it's going to be significantly different to that. Jason, love you, Willie. Happy New Year on the PayPal, Mr. Katarinchuk. Thank you, brother, on the PayPal. I really, really appreciate that, man. Hope you are doing well, Jace. What's next? He puts Maduro on trial. Where to from here? Love Adelaide. Yeah, Maduro will put on trial. That's what'll happen for a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not really sure how Maduro can be charged by the US state in the US with not being a citizen. Like I'm not fully over that, but was it Pam Bondi is heading this up, and you're like, well, shouldn't he be charged under then international law? Why would he be under anything domestic? I don't know how that works. He can't be, but no one really cares. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is no one does really care. This is what happens if you're a regional hegemon, you have the power of America, you got the money, you do operate on a different wavelength. Like, it's not fair, but it's the way it is. But I'm not saying it's fair. But Europe did show it's. Yeah, I think I was reading the comments under von der Leyen and Karen Callas's stuff, and like all the comments, even like those who are like in favor of what she said, are just like, can Europe please just grow some balls? Like that's what people are just after, is just have a position. Double standard hurts my brain. Oh, the double standards, hypocrisy around things like this is wild. Right. I'm just scrolling some Telegram to see what's going on. What does Middle East Spectator say? Middle East Spectator's retweeting Nick Fuentes saying USA. The Middle East Spectator go, first of all, you're a Mexican, under Nick Fuentes' post. Okay. There must be beef between the two. Oh. I know, we're getting somewhere. Gulf of America. You never know. Well, I tell you, one of the big things that I saw, one of the top comments under the Kaya Callas' post was, the next post was, one of the top comments was, you'd want to take a hard position because next could be Greenland. And you're like, yeah, if you're this like, pussyfoot around, blah, 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 and you haven't taken a hard position on territorial sovereignty and independence, What happens then when it's yours? You know, that's what people have been saying is, well, if America says we need, and as Trump said, we need Greenland for national security. As I said in my thing the other day, you can laugh at him, you can do whatever, but at the same time, do not underestimate what a great state power will do when they believe that their national security has a hurdle. Do not underestimate how far a state like that will go. His eyes on Greenland. It's also funny hearing Kay Callis talking about non-elected leaders. Thank you, Samuel Didsbury, on the PayPal too, brother. I appreciate that. Mr. Suck Duck says Canada's sweating right now. Dude, yeah, anyone where Trump has his eye on should be sweating a little bit, should take a pretty firm position on this. God. If I was European, I'd be taking a pretty firm position, being like, you know, we understand this and that. Maduro's not a good guy. We don't want extremism. We don't want terrorism. We don't want X, Y, Z. But also be like, but we still see territorial sovereignty, because at the end of the day, Greenland, and I've shown you on, you can just look up a photo of the Arctic Circle and you will see why America's interested. And I think, yeah, Keir Starmer, he's taken a bit of a neutral non-position in this too. Rome Gold says, Willie, what a start to the new year, right? I know, mate. Huge start. Huge start. Leon says, Leon from Telegram, wish you the best, mate. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Would be funny if the US stole the King of Denmark. Yeah, next. Yeah, imagine that. Well, at the end of the day, if you're a king, what you know, you're not an elected official. At the end of the day, who says what is a credible leader? Like, who says that person is in charge? I'm not contesting if he has the right of power or not, but at the end of the day, who is it? Who comes up with, well, that person is in charge? You know, if you have if you believe that you have the say of who is in charge or not, well, if you just say your system doesn't meet our threshold, can you just go in and nab people? Is it only democratic? Well, how democratic? Because you can point for a lot of holes in a lot of democracies. KX Malahov, lots of love to you and your loved one. Thank you, brother. Some people speaking about getting through air defense. Mate, I still don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if more comes out about that this was some level of coordination. Again, we do not know. But we will see. It just seems like the lack of any resistance, seemingly whatsoever. No man-pads, very little gunfire. That's a little bit sus, but at the end of the day, you know, we don't know. Maybe no one wants to defend the regime there. Someone says it's Soviet air defense. It doesn't matter. It's a helicopter. Like, I don't think people realize it doesn't matter how good the Night Stalkers are. It's still a helicopter. Look at all the choppers that went down in Afghan from significantly worse air defense. Addy Kicks, thank you for the donation, says, what would happen in Venezuela? Don't fold, government keep fighting, get an alliance with Russia, China, nuclear umbrella for Venezuela. Neither of these countries, neither Russia or China, is going to extend their nuclear umbrella to Venezuela, as America's not willing to have their nuclear umbrella spread to Ukraine. Well, if they don't fold, well, it depends on how strong and how much fighting that the US is willing to do, how much the Venezuelans are willing to do. But yeah, absolutely, it could lock into a decades-long war, but it also could collapse like Syria did very quickly too. They took the wife too, so I think there's something to it. Yeah, that's one of the other parts, is that they took his wife as well. That's one of the other bits that seems a bit sus. lack of resistance, taken the wife. Don't know. But will we ever really know? Probably not. Legend says 1,900 of you, 500 likes. Remember, if you're in the here, just post in the chat, hit like as well. That helps us out a lot. Come on, T-Dog. He's 17 minutes late. Someone said he's typically like 30 to 60 minutes late. That's not what we need. How long till it's supposed to start? 17 minutes ago. We own Venezuela now, boys. Well, that's literally how people saying it. Like with Trump when they took the oil tankers. It's like, well, what happens to the oil now? It's like, well, I guess it's out. It's like, oh, this is a strong precedent to be setting, mate. Whether you're like, yeah, fuck yeah or not, you need to remember of how other states looking at this. And like I said, I can't remember exactly how I worded it in the Telegram, but I said words to the effect of Russia and China will publicly condemn this, but silently applaud it. Like, fantastic, because is Trump going to turn around and condemn Russia going against the UN Charter, moving across borders, doing this and that? Can he after this? You know, that's what I've said. Like, publicly, they'll condemn it. I think behind closed doors, they've gone like, great, give us permission, further permission to act as great powers. Of course, there's nuance to be added to this scenario, that scenario, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people won't. So we'll begin shortly. Someone said it was 11 Eastern time. Oh, I hope not. Have you heard from Dave? He's still alive after Chosen Company disbanded. He's still alive. I haven't spoken to him very recently, but I'll send him a message and see how he's going. Stephen, thank you for becoming an average Willie. Swapper, thank you, mate. He says, post a link to the indictment under your last Telegram post. Page 2122 is interesting. See, at least under the US code, maybe we can look whilst we wait for Trumpy boy. Let me have a quick look at the indictment. Is that under the post, the most recent post? My indictment against Maduro. I'm not a robot. The Department of Justice thing won't bloody open. Maybe too many people are in it at the moment. But how is everyone's New Year's? Oh, this was a couple of good comments. I often just screenshot different ideas that I see floating around this. And someone commented, Russia and China will loudly denounce America with ecstatic joy and secret applause. And then another guy said, this is bad. Xi's clapping with each one of these statements. We laugh because we hate Maduro. But this is not about Maduro. This is about losing the last barrier that kept China from unleashing a devastating war in the Pacific. They take notes and they'll use the exact wording when they invade Taiwan and blocking the whole Far Eastern seaways. This could cause extreme economic crises for Europe and the US. But people applaud to these idiotic statements. I thought that was interesting as well. Bears fan, level 1 mini Willie, thank you, brother. As well as the Dutch Tulip has become a mega Willie. Thank you as well, mate. Remember, guys, there's 1,960 viewers. We only have 700 likes. Remember to like the video. It's easy. It's free. It helps us bump up as well. So if it was 11 o'clock Eastern time or Florida time? I'm going to be annoyed if it's East. Or is Florida on Eastern time? I don't know. Florida is Eastern time. Same thing. 11:21. Okay, so Trump is late. It's not us. Right, we have hit 2,000. Normally we cut out at 2,000. Right, the gentleman says, I had 22 anniversary this morning during the DCS. Glad to see you live after I wished for you to live long on Telegram. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Happy anniversary. Always at least 30 minutes late. Bro, so tired. Come on, Trumpy. I've been really struggling with sleep. There's 96,000 people waiting to watch this. Chances he traded Taiwan for Venezuela? Nah, unrelated. It would be interesting knowing the Chinese delegation was there, though. 96,500 people waiting to see Trump speak. Someone asked, where am I in Australia? I'm in South Australia. Will the EU say they stand with Venezuela? No. I'm still waiting for the EU to say that they are going to sanction America and ban all American passport holders coming. Someone referred to this as a near-peer conflict. Really? Venezuela is not a near-peer to America whatsoever. What do you mean? I hate when like semi-official soft pages are saying like near-peer, blah, blah, blah. You think, dude, they're like, people say that special forces have no place in near-peer conflict. But Delta Force guys, like, if you're calling Venezuela a near peer to America, strap in. Take a shot every time Trump says great or amazing. Yeah, I think we'd be hammered after the opening monologue. How long do you reckon we're going to have Trump for? Do you reckon it's going to be short or it's going to be super long, like al-Baghdadi? Grand invasion, this is what we voted for. I don't think we're going to see a grand invasion, but does anyone know, is there any further evidence if America did hold that airport, or was that just rumors? Because there was a lot of people saying that he did, that America did hold one of the airports. Saw a video of the Delta boys canoe a Venezuelan cop. Right. Was there video of Delta shooting anyone? I haven't seen like any footage like that. But just trying to read the chat as we go and keep up with anything that is relevant. So Nick Fuentes is on a telegramming run at the moment. Take the oil. The Western Hemisphere is ours. I support the US empire. Blah, blah, blah. Hemispheric defense. Take the whole Western Hemisphere. So further expansion. He'll blame it on Biden. He'll blame it on Biden, and the Europeans will somehow blame it on Putin. Laurie Mibel, thank you. Says, at least Ukraine is happy. They know where the next batch of air defense and airplanes would come from. We don't know how much has been destroyed and how much still remains too. Trump has released a photo of Venezuelan President Maduro following his capture by special forces aboard the USS Iwo Jima. Surely could have done a better photograph than that. Bottle of water in the grey tracksuit. Crazy. The whole world, not just the Western Hemisphere. America's powerful. They're not powerful enough to be a global hegemon. Right, come on, Trumpy. Right, have you slept? No, I slept about an hour, which I believe actually made it worse. But in the past 48 hours, I reckon I've had about 3 hours of total sleep. Social Networking 47 says Venezuela is a major oil supplier to Russia. Russia is winning in Ukraine and will not try for peace until it's forced to cut off oil supply, cut off capacity to wage war. This is simple logistics. Russia is themselves, though, a massive global supplier of oil. Venezuela supplied about 4 to 7%, depending on what numbers, of energy to China. Russia can produce an absolute shitload of oil. Yeah, Russia has, a lot of their economy is based in oil prices, and that's where people have been trying to bring this down also. And that's been the promised way to victory, is through an oil price drop. Is this just Panama Noriega 2.0 drug smuggling? I don't know that much about that. I've seen a lot of people bringing up that case, and I'm not super familiar with it, but I will look further into it. But I've seen a lot of people bring up what you believe, Mr. GHB, so thank you for your donation too. Vladimir Zorij, Happy New Year. Looks like you can have oh my God. Happy New Year. Looks like you're not going to be jobless in 26. Keep up good and objective work. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Happy New Year to yourself as well. I hope that you're having a great year so far. I know I think we've all had a very big beginning to the war. People are saying, and it's true, being a head of state without nuclear weapons sucks. Right, so we are half an hour late. Bashar Miles Teg, if you're in Trump's position, you're in a country and your sphere of influence aligning themselves with your rivals, would you do the same thing? The problem is, how aligned was Venezuela in military alliances with your rivals really? Or was it a happy relationship of trade. This is the problem. These great powers, people want to have sovereignty and independence and this and that. Because you could ask Bashar Miles, you could ask the same question. If you were in Putin's position and you had then a security pact moving in your direction, what do you do? And that's the same. It's a similar way of looking at it. It's a Cuban Missile Crisis all over again. Great states, in the day, they don't see this independence and sovereignty of their neighbours. So would I do the same thing if I was in Trump's position? Again, it could be. I may do. But again, there's this idea of it's a launch pad for this and it's fentanyl, this and that. It's so that's such a limited view of what's going on here when you just look at it's oil. Come on, it's oil. It's the US. Another swing at Iran. China will get involved now from Mr. Doug. I can't see China getting involved in this. China, they don't have formal military alliances. They're not going to get involved over this. It's not worth it for them. I think China will sit back and watch the damage that this does to US global credibility. That's how I see it. Trump is posting helicopters flying over Venezuela with Fortunate Son in the background. Does he realise that Creedence Clearwater was a anti-war band? Okay, it seems like the White House is pumping out a heap of content right now. So surely we're going to get big Trump dog. 33 minutes late. Russia has military hardware in Venezuela. Yeah, they do, but it's not like it's massive amounts. Like it might be in the billions, but it's not. It's hardly like the equivalent to Belarus. Mike says, I told you, 30, 60 minutes, never on time. The content president, I know. I don't think there's been another president in history that's been so active on social media. I always laugh. I've said this previously, but I always laugh. It must be funny that like within the Kremlin, in Beijing, in Downing Street, wherever, that occasionally all these world leaders all huddle around a phone to just read a Trump tweet. Did China buy much Venezuelan oil? Yes. Billions and billions. It's about 4 to 7% of China's oil comes from Venezuela. But that can be bought from other places. They capture a Su-57. There was no Su-57s in Venezuela. Trump runs on hood time or island time. Willie, your opinion on the Egyptian pyramids from DeMarcus. I don't really have an opinion on the pyramids. I don't think we don't understand how they got built, but I don't think it's some alien thing. Mate Unix says Russia will sell more oil now. Yeah, it's likely China will just buy it more from Russia. People are bringing up old Biden quotes. Biden quoted in 2020, Trump talks tough on Venezuela but admires thugs and dictators like Nicolas Maduro. That aged well. Oh, I was hoping this would be quick. So tired, for God's sake. Is Biden still alive? Where is he, bro? The old man, he's been through it. Someone says, Skibbity, Willie, there's lots of shills in here right now. Okay. There's people with differing opinions. This is the problem, Skibbity, is if people have a different opinion to yourself, people just always put them as a shill. A shill for what? Shill for Maduro, a shill for Putin, a shill for Zelensky. Maybe people just have different opinions. You always had someone in Maduro's inside circle. If this was just a clean, old school snatch and grab, absolutely the amount of human intelligence that the US had within his inner circle was unbelievable. Schmitty says, love from Iowa. Sorry, Trump has kept you awake. That's all right. Trump has kept me awake plenty of times. LT Punisher 6666. Thank you for becoming a mini Willy. Dels will be lucky not to be tried in international court for kidnapping. Trust me, that will not happen. It's the US. It will not happen. Someone tell Donnie to hurry it up. Thank you, Riley. Yeah, I appreciate it, mate. Donnie, if you're listening to the live, hurry it up, mate. Willie, will you ever visit the pyramids? I have no interest in going to Egypt. I'd really like to go to the pyramids, but I do not want to travel to Egypt. I can't be bothered putting up with that whole everything to do with that. Oh, here we go. Oh.
The United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history.
Boys looking tired.
And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer.
Trump looks exhausted.
All perfectly executed and done.
Except
no
you want
nation
more strikes in Iran.
In the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacity